It was believed that if you have to be a tough journalist, you must drink hard, you smoke hard, some even go into drugs.
People are seeing the flash popping. They don't know there's no film.
What do we do with some old women who have stripped naked in the middle of Uhuru Park?
I have no comment.
Most of the media owners in this country are not themselves journalists.
They are up there. Media workers are down here.
What does your conscience tell you about this?
That's a tough question.
You have to give me this for myself. You have to give me this for my editor.
I was slapped. I was on the floor and they were busy kicking me.
Airtime is a property of the public.
The Kenyan media does not depend on sales.
Sexual favors in the media.
Yes.
It is real. The increase of media channels and houses is faster than we are training quality journalists.
This is a production about the news media industry in Kenya. These are some of the people whose duty is to bring news to you. They are in the media business and some of them have decided to turn the focus inward. They will be sharing with you some of the insights in their profession and the dynamics and challenges they face. They have decided to uncover themselves. All the information that has been used in this documentary have been counter-checked. Some interviews were off the camera and a number of those who talked refused to be identified by name or the organization they are related to.
When they got in this house, and then asked them who they are, and the guy murmured, and then about 6 or 7 guys grabbed me and tossed me through the window. Then when I was rolling in the air, I said this must be a bad dream. And then when I hit the ground, I only remember that I said, please, please take me to the hospital. Then I passed out.
16 years later, Gishere is a living testimony of a journalist who is suffering because of his reports that were considered anti-government at a time when majority of people were agitating for democracy.
The reforms of the constitution, there is nothing which is going to happen.
Thank you. I remember many times seeing a driver coming to the nation with a statement from the Commissioner of Police saying that story cannot be run, or getting a call from the head of the presidential press saying Mzee does not want that story run.
It was on 31st May 1997. There was a protest rally at the Central Park. I was covering that. And after the rally was dispersed by the security forces, we had to run all the way to the Serena Hotel. We were accosted by a group of General Service Unit officers. They told us, you journalists leo mutatuona. You journalists will know who we are today.
That was one of the most difficult periods for one to be a journalist in Kenya.
If you were perceived even to be reporting favorably in any way on the opposition, you were seen as a threat, you were harassed and followed, and all sorts of things were done to you.
Like other journalists, Gishere's images and stories greatly influenced the international community to press the KANU government to give in to multipartyism.
One of the issues that was very contentious during that struggle is when some women went and stripped at the Uhuru Park. Do we publish them or not? How can you show your mother's nakedness in Uhuru Park? We decided to publish the pictures because we said if we don't publish the pictures, they were not stripping to show their nakedness. They were stripping to make a political point. If the pictures were not published, the political point would not be made.
I've had also enough differences with members of parliament, for example. One time when I talked about their pay hike.
The media has so far done a very commendable job of exposing high-level corruption in government circles as well as in public institutions. But how is the media itself faring in this regard?
The road is just too deep. Just too deep.
They talk about the brown envelope in a way that
It's like a culture.
It is a term that has been used a lot because those days we only used to have khaki envelopes. These days there are many other envelopes. But that used to happen so that when you go to a politician's office, he gives you an envelope that is brown and inside there contains some notes.
It's supposed to influence your thoughts. So it's like medicine. It's not you who is working, but the medicine that is working. So when you go for an event and the guy says, on your way out, talk to so-and-so, she has an envelope for you, and then you open the envelope, there's 3,000, 4,000 shillings.
I don't recall people turning down that money.
In my 7 or so years in journalism, the issue of brown envelope, I've only seen one brown envelope.
A reporter will be going down or up the line, and they'll be telling their sources that you have to give me this for myself, you have to give me this for my editor, you know, that kind of thing. I've heard about it, and journalists talk about it openly.
Not only did they buy journalists, they went and paid money, 1 million shillings, 500,000 shillings, to a journalist they were told, and many of them were bought.
As a media manager, once a while you were confronted with those situations. But you see, again, it depends on your integrity.
Just like these children trying to catch the attention of the camera person, adults do the same. Image helps to portray oneself, and many are ready to pay to appear or not to appear, depending on the circumstances. In newsrooms, public figures are known to bribe journalists to have their stories or pictures published.
Fighting for all these years.
It is also common for industries, institutions, companies or political parties to have contacts in newsrooms who make sure that their respective interests are aired.
The other day I just asked one of my colleagues in the newsroom whether political party branches have opened up offices in various newsrooms.
At a fee, a mole ensures that a politician's statement is published or broadcast. The contact at the same time warns the client of negative stories intended for publishing, especially those emerging from a rival camp.
There are people, whatever they say, regardless of the nonsense, they're always getting airtime. And so you keep wondering, how is it that they get that sort of coverage, and really their issues are not that concise?